Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another videos of the paid request, this time for Bobby. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Godzilla Wrath of the Hybrid, which is a fan film from the same guys who they did the first two that I talked about, the previous one about Space Godzilla. I will say at least there's been interesting progression in terms of the first fan film they did was very, very antiquated in terms of a lot of times they just used footage from video games. I don't remember if they were GameCube or what system, but they used PS2 GameCube video games of Godzilla, and then they have this very, very rough animation or whatever the assets were. But you see how things have developed with each film more and more. Where in this, for a fan film, it's not that badly animated. I mean, it's not glorious or anything, but again, I'm judging it as a fan film on YouTube. It's, yeah. Anyway, when you see how they first did to how they do it now, there's definitely been a progression in terms of animation techniques and so forth. The voice acting isn't too great. The story, if you could call it a story, I guess you say there's a semblance of continuity. I can't say I really cared about the characters. I can't really say I did. The voice acting, I think, is pretty bad. But it's hard to get mad at, group of people get together just to have fun and do a little project like this. And that they're committed to making at least 3 of these. So, it's more than I've ever done. But would I say I was a fan of these? No. This one, after the second one, where they dealt with Space Godzilla, this guy who was in the previous 2 fan films, animated fan films, Steve, who's like this Godzilla nerd that works with the government, he gets kidnapped by these aliens and interrogated by them, but then also brainwashed by them and made to do their bidding. This military guy named Yuki survived the last film, so he comes back, and he's kind of our lead protagonist in this. Can't say I really care about any of the characters, but Yuki and the group are they're attacked by these aliens. I don't know if some of these aliens, if they're from, one of them remind me from one of the newer Doom games. I don't know if these assets are used from other stuff and then they, like the design wise, and then they animated themselves. But they attack the base, they kill some people by turning them into red skeletons, which I thought was a bit weird. They get attacked and they don't just turn to skeletons, but red skeletons. I don't mean the comedian. So, I thought that was a bit strange. Again, I don't know if that was an asset that was used in something else, so they used it for this. And of the main group, there's this female who's in the other fan films, and she gets killed by Steve, the brainwashed guy. And pretty much the reason him and the aliens are attacking this base is to get the cells of, I guess, Godzilla's dad. Like in the previous one, there was Godzilla and his son, and the dad Godzilla died. But I don't know if he is dead because he didn't. He looked more knocked out than dead because he's kind of his base. He's kind of lying there. I guess we're to assume he's dead, but it looked more like he was sleeping or in hibernation. I thought it was a bit confusing. I guess maybe they picked his body up and brought it back, but they got the cells. They escape after this little bit of fight, little bit of battle. Meanwhile, the aliens have sent this other creature named Orga, which, I mean, I didn't mind the design of it. It looks like it had a bit of a shell on its back. Again, I'll say this. I'll reiterate that at least the animation. Again, when you look at the first one and compare to this, there's definitely been a progression of animation where they show the entire cities getting blown up and the buildings crumbling down, and I did better than I ever could doing anything, so I commend them for that. And Godzilla's fighting it and is using a green blast at this point. And even from the last one, they definitely improved. Because I remember in the last one, the Space Godzilla one, there's a bit where one of the, I think it was Space Godzilla, was attacking these choppers, and then one of them like glows green, and then they just fall apart. Here, they get hit, and you see like a POV of the helicopter swirling down and going to the ground like it was Black Hawk Down. So, of the three, it's definitely the most polished. So again, it's interesting on a visual to see the progression. That's probably the biggest takeaway I got out of it. So while Godzilla's, well, Junior, Godzilla just fighting this creature named Orga. It's funny, he also fights some of the military, which I thought was strange because obviously Godzilla's done that a lot. But I'm trying to think, usually when Godzilla's supposed to be the good guy, they kind of don't have him fight the military because it'd be counterintuitive. Like, we want him to fight the bad guy to save the Earth or save the city. But then he's destroying and possibly killing the military as well because they're stupid enough to fight him, even though there's this other creature that we should be fighting him even more. So maybe they just wanted to have their cake and eat it too here. But that's why I think a lot of times Godzilla films, they don't do that. There are exceptions, of course, to be fair. So you have the story with the humans where the Steve guy is still controlled. At one point, he turns to a creature, almost like a gangly Slender Man type of gangly creature, and they're fighting it until ultimately they stop him and rip this implant out, and he comes back to his senses. Again, the voice acting is not the best, especially the guy who voices Steve. Like when he finds out that he killed this girl that he knew, it's not Dustin Hoffman. It's not. I mean, but it's a fan film. But at the same time, it's not too great. I would say the voice acting was the worst part of this. Some of the action between Godzilla and this creature named Megora, there's some decent stuff. It looked like at one point Godzilla Jr. rips Orga's arm off. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then when it gets back up, it looks like it grew another arm. Or that arm that's ripped off is now grown back, or it was trying to defeat the whole purpose of that. So I thought that was a bit weird. Mechagodzilla comes into the fray, and him and Junior team up. But the aliens have gotten the cells of Junior's dad, and there's this hybrid. Oh, the design of the Godzilla hybrid was kind of meh for me. To be honest, I can't even picture it in my mind. So it didn't make that much of an impact. I did like the idea that you see it in smoke and you see the order creature just pulled into the dust, and then you hear these screams, and then you see something thrown towards them and it's its head. I did like that. I thought that was a nicely put together bit. A good way to showcase your new villain to enter the fray. I also like that there's this progression of Godzilla Blast where it starts off as green, then it gets to another power where it becomes red, and then at the end I think ultimately it becomes kind of white. So I did like that progression of the Godzilla Atomic Breath. I thought it was a. They might have done that in a few movies, but I can't remember. spoiler, the Steve guy is in the Mechagodzilla and he decides to blow it and blow himself up, self-sacrifice to give the others some more time. Godzilla Jr. gets his ass hit very easily, and then the spirits of Rodan and Mothra, they come and they go into his body, and then he gets pumped up again. I don't like it when they do it in the movies. I don't like it when they do it in the fan movies, where Godzilla becomes a pussy and he gets his ass kicked, and then he gets the cheat code of God mode, and then he could do like 2 things and kill the creature. It just feels kind of a cheat. Like, you don't really deserve King of the Monsters if you're able to have these cheat codes. That'd be like me playing a video game on God mode or with cheats. I beat the game and go, I'm such a great player. I'm like, no, you beat on cheat. You're in God mode. I wouldn't consider myself a good player in the least. So I don't like it when they do that. Plus, it comes out of nowhere. Like, throughout the other pieces of the fan film, there's no kernels of what would build up to this, that would lead up to this. Whether it be dialogue, or I saw something over here, or there's some person trying to get this ritual going. No, it just comes out of the blue. This, like, gold glow of Mothra and Rodan, and not badly visualized, but at the same time, it's like, where did this come from? And I don't know. It got the cheat code, that's why. It got the God mode. So it does like 2 or 3 things to the hybrid, throws it up, does the big blast, blasts it and the alien spaceship. It walks and swims away, while Yuti and this other guy have this funeral for their fallen female comrade. And I guess they told a story, and they told a trilogy of a story. I don't know as much story of a story to tell, but hey, I mean, they tried. Just A for effort. A lot of people liked it in the comments, so kudos to that. And I guess, hey, if you're a diehard Godzilla fan, you want to see what fans can do. Like I said, at the very least, to repeat one last time, on a visual aspect, it's interesting to see the progression of using very rough bargain basement animation and then mostly video game footage to much more of a fully animated. Granted, nothing, direct-to-video or level Pixar or any of that level. Still fan level, but still, yeah, much more polished. So I do appreciate that. I appreciate the music used from some of the great Godzilla movies. So it does have a nice soundtrack on it. Again, not the great voice acting, but hell, I mean, I tried to voice act something and I wasn't good either, so I know how it goes. So, oh, you being too mean? No, I'm just being honest, because believe me, I'm not an actor either, and I'm not a voice actor either. At least these guys can animate, which I've never been able to do, so kudos to them. Again, would I say I'm a fan of it? No. I do like Godzilla, but I'm not... would I say I care for this? No. But it's nice to see once, and I did appreciate the effort. So, thank you once again, Bobby. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.